Good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever. I'm on a bit of an odd mission right now. Some things have been coming to me that I wanted to share. So here goes. One of them is that the powers that be, the bad guys, the dark force, the Illuminati, whatever we want, to call them, the ones running the Prison Planet show here, have made a real study of keeping the populace in fear of one kind and another, constantly. It has become constant. I think that started with the atomic age and the implied threat of nuclear annihilation that's been hanging over mankind's head forever. Now, whether or not this is a purposeful thing isn't quite so much the point. I think it is. I think it's done with a great deal of intent because there are those whose purpose it suits to keep us all in fear. But for what I have to say tonight, that really doesn't matter. Fear is insidious. It is perhaps the most direct route out of the heart and into the head. And so it's no good. It really gets in the way. And the thing is, you don't have to be running down the street in stark raving panic in order to be filled with fear. It's woven deeply into conscious awareness, to subconscious awareness, into the unconscious, just the whole thing with the threat of nuclear annihilation hanging over us. Now, that's what they want you to believe. There are facts that defeat that, and the facts are nice, such as the way the nuclear missiles have been turned off in their silos, the way any number of attempts to launch a nuclear warhead have been thwarted. And the UFOs are showing themselves visibly. They're letting themselves be seen, so it can be known, who are the perpetrators there of the refusal to allow us to create a nuclear war. And so, I guess maybe in their frustration, now we have Fukushima. And again, let's stay away from the blame game and pointing fingers and rage and anger, but let's look at the fear. Just look at it. Don't run from it. Be aware that you're feeling it. Okay? The rush on stuff for the thyroid, the iodine or the potassium iodide, is a good example of that. Fear is very close to the surface, especially in the Western world. I can't speak so much from the East. This incarnation, this body isn't from there, so I don't know. What do I have to say to that? Enter heart. I mean, you could have figured that out, right? You were way ahead of me on that one. Enter heart. And be determined to win, if you will. And that's how you do it. You don't play their stupid games. You don't let them lead you around by the nose. Or by the gut, in this case, all clenched in terror. You don't have to play that game. Now, there's another thing that's not exactly a corollary, but that relates here, and that is we have been taught to believe that we're a biological accident, Things could have gotten together some other way, and maybe we would have had 3 arms growing out of our head or something. We're nothing that was planned. There's no creator, and everything's just random, chaos and accident. Or the evolution thing, it started with a monkey in a jungle somewhere and it wound up with you. We've been taught all kinds of bullshit. Can you say bullshit? All right. Once upon a time I was a lady and I didn't talk this way, but oh well. It is what it is, and I am what I am, and here we go. So that is just like the fear thing. That is done with intent to create a very deep-seated belief in our nothingness. And we've been led around this way because we didn't realize that we are creators and that we create with our beliefs, with our thoughts. Something has to be thought before it can be made manifest. The thought comes first. And it's a part of the creative process. And so by being taught that that's what we were taught to minimize the self and to use the power, our entire mental capacity, to reinforce smallness, weakness. Our religions taught us that we're guilty and we're damned and we're sinners and we're just awful from the get-go. And I know that's stepping on toes, but frankly right now, too bad. Just stay in heart. Don't be so attached to anything that it controls and manipulates you. Be open enough to be able to listen to anything and not freak out, It's just ideas. You can go pick up your own later. Meanwhile, check it out. We've been taught that we have to be good, and we have to behave, and we have to earn redemption. Or even worse yet, that it's not possible to earn it. We're so wasted and worthless that somebody else has to do it for us. And it's already been done. There are a lot of ways to manipulate truth. And even though there be truth underlying in many of these things, it gets so twisted and manipulated by the time the powers that be get through with it that it's unrecognizable. Now, truth stands on its own. It doesn't need anyone to defend it. So don't worry if I've spoken against truth. Truth is powerful and will knock me down, knock down what I say. So don't have fear around that. So I'm saying 2 things here. 1, you conquer fear by simply being in heart. And 2, let's have a look at this thing where we've been taught that we're nothing or evil, and that we have to earn anything good that should happen to us. We have to be worthy. You don't. Know why? Because you already are that. Time is simultaneous, or it's an illusion. I mean, the way we believe in things is what is an illusion. Atoms being 99% not there. There's no such thing as the solidity that we perceive. And that's verifiable scientifically. And yet, so is the solidity. So go figure. I call it the 2 sides of the same coin. You live in the land of paradox when you enter heart or when you approach wisdom and truth. And it's just the way it is. And it's just really good to say, I don't know, and anything's possible. And it is what it is. Things like that will help keep you centered when things seem really wacky and you're tempted to go out into a mind trip. Those kind of sayings will help keep you in heart. All right? So try this on. You don't have to earn anything. Your nature is divine. No pun intended, but he said, I am the vine, ye are the branches. There's a oneness there that can't be denied. Okay? There's an identity that is one. And that's your identity. You are the Christ. I am the vine, ye are the branches. Get out of the head and into the heart. Okay? You don't have to earn anything. You just have to uncover it. We're perfection that's had mud slathered all over it. All right? Kismet, chill, puppy. All kinds of nonsense, you know. But you can't untruth truth. Oh, well, he's going to roll on the floor. He's going to roll on the floor. Sorry. You can't destroy God. You can't unpurify purity. There's a divinity that's resident within everyone. It's at the very core of your nature. It's who and what you are. And it can't be touched, it can't be tampered with, it can't be harmed in any way, shape, or form. It can't be altered, it can't be anything. It's impervious to everything. Okay? Now that's our true nature. All the rest of it is conditioning, like Pavlov's dog. We've been taught to fear instead of salivate. Okay? Now, try these things on. If you have beliefs that scream up raging from the mind and say, no, 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 that's blasphemy or whatever, just look at them. Say, that's interesting. And then look back to this. Keep going to heart. Let those things rage. Just be aware, okay, that's my beliefs. That's fine. Just don't let it get in the way of your exploration. And you'll find later that your beliefs doing that is very handy, because that could also be seen as your higher self's way of showing you what's in the way at any moment. Now, the chimes that you're hearing, I wanted to mention something about that. This Fukushima thing is very nasty, as we know, and I think there's a lot that we don't know that's out there, but you really have to look for it. There's some new kind of radiation labeled MOX, MOX, something like that, that the current Geiger counters and detectors don't measure for. Apparently, the detectors for this uber ultra radiation are so pricey that only at the nuclear power plants that use that particular type of fuel or whatever it is have the detectors to measure it. And so, okay, the news is bad. And it may be it's not being broadcast everywhere because it's so bad, and they figure, what could the people do about it anyway? I don't know. Now watch your fear over this. I feel people in their solar plexus, I feel gripping tension. And it's not mine, personally. I mean, we're all one, so it's mine, but anyway. Just watch it. Just be aware, that's all. Self-awareness. We want to watch and observe And in doing this, it's like our own little self-inquiry. It's kind of a passive self-inquiry to just watch and observe. Moving into heart is really good, always. When you don't know what to do, just center in heart and keep doing that. Just center in heart, put yourself in the middle of your chest. You're fine. Remember, you're God. Okay, you're a manifestation of God. You're little g or something, you know. I'm not saying you're the man, because I don't believe God is a person or can even be personified. To me, it's a principle. But anyway, we're divinity walking. Everything brings blessing. Now, back to these chimes that you're hearing. I'll put a link in. In Canada, there's a research institute. I think it's called the Heart Mind Institute. And it's at the Heart Mind Institute, the heartmindinstitute.org, I think. Anyway, I'll put the link in. And they're using, they say that they're using technology gained via CERN and the space program. You know, the astronauts are out there without the magnetic shield of the Earth to protect them. They're exposed to a great deal of radiation. And of course, since the spacecraft they're in can't have 14-inch thick walls of lead, we've had to get creative on how to shield and protect them so that they didn't get radiation sickness. And so ways have been found. And there's a technology that's in use here that uses sound. And it's not the chimes that you're hearing. It's not the, those are to make it more pleasant. There's a sound in the background that's almost unheard that manipulates the listener's body, mind, energy, and so on. And this one is a radiation protection. It mobilizes the body's bioenergy to create a shield and to ward off any kind of radiation. Now, it does a number of other things as well. There's a lecture. What I'll do is I'll link you to the website, to the page on the website where you can hear the originator of this talking about this particular audio file. They have other audio files, the more typical things that you would expect to find, like to boost the immune system, to ward off colds and flu, to help grow beautiful hair or youthful skin, that kind of thing. Sports, after sports, you know, to help the body deal with those kind of things. So there's a lot of sound files where they're using this technology. But this one in particular was designed to do a lot of things to marshal and mobilize the body's abilities and the energy force field that we are, the abilities there to shield and protect and fight back against this kind of a thing. And I think everyone should know about it. It's not free. All right, I'll tell you up front, to buy the file, the download is 40 bucks. But I just want everyone to know about it so you can check it out. I bought it. I believe in the power of sound. They have one that's actually for cold sores and that particular bug that causes that. And they do have some testimonials. So there are some of these that can be tested, you know, to where you can have a physical proof. Oh, it must have worked. Look, I had this and now I don't. Whereas for radiation protection, that's not likely to happen. Okay? And I will also draw your attention to the fact that they do have a special where you can get 7 of their files as a download for $99. So that makes it considerably less expensive. Sorry, keep forgetting to turn that off. That makes it less expensive. So, you know, I'm not meaning to play into the fear here, but I think we need to face the fact that worldwide right now, there's a tremendous, I mean, it's a flowing, rushing, gushing river, a torrent of fear. And it's pretty much based on that. So the things that we can do that are constructive, I'm all for that. Why not? You know, get the potassium if you can. Get some baking soda so that you can put a pound of it in the bath. Get the magnesium salts, you know, do the various things. Try this chiming thing, if you will. But the biggest thing is there's no technology that can hurt us. When we step into the fullness of our power, we will transcend this and everything. Remember back again and again, you know, Jesus would irritate the crowds and they would go to grab him and throw him off a cliff or something. And it says, and he would just disappear out of their midst. Ultimately, we are that which cannot be hurt. And there is an ultimate power that I think many of us will come into in this, our last incarnation, our Ascension Incarnation, such that even while yet walking the earth in an apparent body, we'll begin to manifest all kinds of abilities. So be in heart. The kingdom of heart is a magical one. And let's externalize the kingdom of heart out into the earth. Love to you. Good day.